Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, we're going to be reacting to a news article talking about a 28-year-old's savvy move to buy a block of units that could make him a millionaire landlord. Now, Tommy Lul, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, became a millionaire landlord and is on track to cash in on Brisbane's Olympic bid. It says here that he's a carpenter and he's bought a block of units in Annerley as a long-term investment in the Brisbane housing market. Now, although personally I'm not a fan of buying individual units, buying a unit block and controlling all the land and earning the passive income off of all those units is a great idea. You get efficiencies of scale if you can invest at that level. It's also more difficult to buy a block of units for a good price because it's largely an investor market, or it's really only an investor market, as no owner-occupier is going to buy a block of units for themselves. They're going to go buy a family home. So when you make a property purchase for a unit block, you're going to buy from another investor, and they're always going to haggle you on price and on the yield you can get from those units. Now, it says here at the age of 28 that he's made the move that could set him up to become a millionaire landlord. At a time when the mega transport infrastructure projects such as the Cross River Rail are underway here in Brisbane, and Brisbane is set to be a front runner for the Olympic Games in 2032. Now, Mr. Alul has hit the jackpot with a purchase of 4 units in Annerley, which is located on Brisbane's inner south, joining a slew of savvy investors looking to buy blocks of units rather than a house and land to expand their portfolios. Now, I don't know this guy's personal situation or where his investing is at, but typically as an investor, when you're starting out, you're not going to go buy a block of units. And as it says here, he's a carpenter, so I'm sure he has plenty of skills that enable him to potentially add value to these units and do some renovation on that. But don't expect yourself to make such a big property purchase like this, like a block of units. It's something to aspire to. Emily and I definitely don't own a block of units, but I'd be more than interested in taking a go at this strategy down the track. But you need to build up your capital first. So buying some house and land properties, and I don't mean house and land packages, I mean buying some house on land in good locations that are going to see growth over the short term will enable you to withdraw that capital and eventually put it into more cash flowing deals. And that's what this block of units is. It's a more cash flow play. So it'll be interesting to see what he purchased the property for and what kind of yields he's getting. Off-market deal, so it looks like he's bought it straight from the agency, sold for around $1 million, and it has been described as a really smart purchase by Ben Smith from Place Real Estate Agents, who facilitated the sale. Now, I play footy with Ben Smith. He's a great bloke, and I'm sure he's a great real estate agent, so shout out to him. Ben said, "I think it's a terrific investment. Obviously, he's going to benefit from the infrastructure upgrades, and if Brisbane was to get the Olympics. If you're going to spend $1 million on a block of land, compare that to spending it on a block of units. What an investment like that offers is yield and capital growth." And that's what I was saying before. A block of units is one of those plays that is largely a yield play. Yes, he's going to get some capital growth out of this unit block, given that it's only a few, maybe 5 or 6 kilometers from the Brisbane CBD on the southeastern side. But it's largely a yield play, typically. And is a way to get you out of your day job and eventually live off some passive income. Here's the interesting stuff. So Mr. Ilul, who purchased the units, said that they were run down and only returning about $215 each week in rent, but he planned to get to work on renovating them. Now, that's exactly what I would be doing. $215 a week in a block of units only 5 or 6 kilometers from the CBD is very, very low return. So if he does some cosmetic renovations, maybe does some new bathrooms, upgrades the kitchens a little bit, he might only spend $15,000 to $20,000 a unit, and he's going to get $100 potentially a week in additional rent. That's going to give him massive cash flows, and it's also going to boost the value of the property. So it sounds like this guy's been very smart with his investing and is sticking to his skills. It says here that he's a carpenter, so he's going to do a lot of the work himself. Here we go. So the people renting the property haven't had a rental increase in 6 years. Hence the reason it's run down, but hopefully once we fix it all up, we'll have the agent look at it and give an estimate of what we can get. Now, 6 years of no rental increases, that's not a very smart decision by the previous landlord. Obviously, they were probably wanting it to be purely passive and just wanted to keep the tenants in there, but Nathan Birch, a prominent investor out there who I watch plenty of his videos, he always talks about doing incremental $10 increases each year so you can increase your cash flows and increase the return on your property portfolio. You need to stay on top of your investments, so a $10 increase is going to keep you up with at least inflation, and if not make you a little bit more money as an investor, and it's going to keep in line with the market. So Mr. Smith said renovated one-bedroom apartments in the area were achieving about $330 a week. So what was he getting before? $215. So a renovated apartment for $330. So that's a $115 increase estimated based on the renovated apartment. Wow, that's a massive increase in yield if he can get this job done in a good time frame and do plenty of the work himself. It sounds like this young investor is going to make a great deal of money out of this deal. Mr. Law will also benefit from renovating the units one at a time and write off tax expenses. And he's bought the property as a long-term investment because of the area. Awesome. So that's probably a critical point to finish on, is that this investor's bought this property for a long-term play. He's not just trying to get in there and get out quickly and make a quick buck, because in that scenario, you'd have to pay tax on that money. He's gone in there with a strategy and he knows his skill set. I assume he has a bit of capital behind him and potentially a bigger property portfolio to be able to buy this property purchase at $1 million for a couple of apartments. But he's being smart with his money and looking to make a long-term play. So I assume if he holds for 10 years, he's going to see, even though it's an apartment block, he's going to see an increase in value in these apartments over 10 years. They may double in value or may just come shy of that. And he's also going to get great rental yield if he can increase the rent by $115 per week after he's renovated each of these apartments. So kudos to this guy. I mean, he sounds like he's done a great job and he's actually making his money work for him, and he's working hard in the process, being a chippy and going out there and doing a lot of the work himself. Now, I know this kind of strategy is not for everyone. You can't go out there and buy an apartment block, and you're probably not a chippy as well. But there are smaller scale projects that you can do, or renovation projects that might be more manageable for you. You could even buy a small 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house and do a renovation on that to begin with at a cheaper price point, just to dip your toes into the world of renovating and to get an understanding of the process and how it all works. Until you've actually invested and had a go, you're not gonna really know what the true experience is. So I think the takeaway is to not be afraid and to look at these people who are doing great things in their investing as aspirational, but to understand where you're at in your journey and to run your own race in terms of where you want to be over the next 10 to 20 years with your investing. If you found this video interesting or insightful, make sure you drop a like on this video. It really helps the channel out. It helps the channel grow and more people see content like this. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell down below, that would really help me out. We're really trying to grow the channel and provide interesting and useful real estate content that can help you on your wealth creation journey. And leave a comment down below if you want to see any new types of videos, or if you want me to talk about anything. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.